Hello everyone, my name is Sabby, and I am traveling with my child, Sarah Effexor. Join us as we travel on a cross-country journey through Canada and the US. Good morning everyone. Hopefully for you guys, I had a rough night to say the least, so it was hard to sleep just because I had tied my child up so that she wouldn't keep playing with the water bucket that was literally like protecting us from flooding. She loves water. She's fascinated by it. Like, she can't help herself. So I just tried to keep her away from it. And so I also didn't want her to get injured either from, you know, trying to get to it still, because the leash is like springy. So she could like keep stretching it and she could get caught and everything like that. So like anytime she moved, I would like wake up and be like, oh, are you okay? So I was like really not sleeping very well at all, and just trying to make sure we didn't flood too much, make sure my child wasn't gonna get hurt from being attached to the leash and all that stuff. So I'm gonna head to Philadelphia today in Pennsylvania and find a place to camp and then maybe take a nap because I know I'm still tired. So and then, you know, start sightseeing and stuff like that. I'll be there for 2 days, so today and tomorrow. I just finished hanging out with my friend. We had breakfast before I left. We did walk that street that you just saw yesterday, which was a lot of fun. There's a lot of shops that we went into. One of them was really cool. It was kind of like a farmer's market, but inside a building where a lot of people who are local businesses just sell their wares in this one building. They kind of have their own spot inside. Which was really cool. I really liked that. I did talk to Fraser Way. My homie Tomas got back to me, so I let him know that I was able to fix the dump situation for the most part. It's not leaking as much as it did before. So I'm not leaking as much as I did before because I was able to install that new part. And I'm not, like, I could see that even with all the movement that I've been doing, I believe when I flushed out both the black and the gray water from when I put the part in, I think I might have got anything that was lodged, keeping the rubber from kind of sealing. So there's minimal leaks, and it's still functioning properly. And even if it does leak, I have like a separator just in case. So I don't feel like that needs to be repaired right now, so I can keep going on my journey, and I know it would take several days to fix. I did talk to him about the leak in my roof, and he said that RVs just do that, apparently. RVs, like, because it's a converted van, like, sometimes there's not proper caulking, or like the sealants come off and they start to leak. So that's just a normal thing that RVs experience. And since they normally don't, you know, rent out RVs during the winter or springtime, they normally don't have to deal with the leaking situation when people are renting them out. But he said that in order to fix it, it would take several days to try to find where it's leaking, seal it up properly, and he said that that would take several days of my time, and he's like, just maybe I should just deal with it, would probably be the better solution. And So just tolerate it, hope that there's not as much rain as there is. If there is, get the bucket ready, so that it doesn't like damage anything on the inside. He says that it's not dangerous if there's water leakage over there by the lighting. He said that everything's pretty wrapped up in there, so there's no danger if water gets around the lighting and stuff like that. He just said that, you know, it's just like, it's gonna be one of those things where you have to deal with the water that comes in during those really big downpours, and eventually it's going to dry out and everything's going to be fine. So I decided that instead of trying to find a place to repair my RV, which is going to be hard when it's kind of off season like this, I'm just going to deal with the water leak. It only happened just because there's no more, it's not snowing anymore, it's raining here in the US. It's not going to rain that much in the next few days, so I'm just going to deal with it. What I might do is, like, if I know it's going to rain, I might tie a garbage bag and then have the garbage bag dangling from the roof so that my child doesn't like play with the bucket. But I'll just figure out other solutions to make sure that if there is water leakage, I can get better sleep without my child like coming in and playing with the bucket that's keeping the water off the floor. Maybe even like weigh it down. I have like a weight, like a 10-pound weight in here for like weightlifting. Maybe I'll just put that in the bucket. She won't be able to push it. So I'll figure something out. But yeah, that's what I decided. So it's unfortunate. Again, it's just one of those things where when you have an RV like this, and I'm renting from Canada, I'm not renting from the US, and I would have this situation if I was renting from the US and not in Canada. They're not going to have service providers available for me in the opposite country, and then at the same time I'm also off of peak season, so technically he's not even supposed to be really helping me. On-road support is technically supposed to be offline because I'm the only one crazy enough to rent an RV during off-season apparently. So even technically, like, him helping me, he really doesn't need to, because there's technically not supposed to be on-road support right now. It's shit luck, bad weather. These vehicles have been rented out by multiple families. They've been driven for a couple of years. They've got wear and tear on them naturally. It's gonna happen. Like, this isn't my RV. I'm renting it from somebody else who rents this RV to many different people. And just over time, things are just going to wear and tear. And they can't, like, predict everything. Like, they can do maintenance and things like that to, like, keep things in top shape. But sometimes, you know, they won't know that the sealant came off of the roof and that some things are leaking until it rains. And so sometimes they don't know that there's a blockage or there's some leakage happening until somebody starts filling the tank. So it's just one of those things where you kind of have to, you kind of expect that there's going to be issues when you're doing something like this, especially if it's off season, especially when you're renting from a country that you're not in. Those are just some of the things to, like, expect. And it sucks. I'm not gonna say, like, oh, this is, you know, it's not too bad. Like, it sucks. Like, I got only like 6 hours of sleep last night. I'm exhausted right now. I was wet. Like, I took the lighting thing on and a ton of water like fell on me. I got wet. My child was wet. The floor's probably still wet somewhere. There's just things that happen, and it sucks. But you know, it's one of those things where I kind of knew that it was something to expect, and I was hoping it wasn't going to be that bad. And you know, here I am, exhausted, wet, car's wet. It would take days to fix, and so I just have to keep dealing with it. And those are just things that I just kind of have to accept. And I still have a month left of traveling, so I'm just gonna hopefully take a nap and hope that the rain's not gonna be as bad, and just maybe plan it out before the rains come. But we'll figure it out. Always got to keep figuring it out. And then I also think, like, you know what? This is one of those learning experiences. Like, if shit happens when I'm traveling someplace else, like, I feel like I can handle it. If this isn't testing my self-confidence and ability to critical think, I don't know what will. So I'm just trying to look at the positives, like, and it's one of those things where I can't really do anything about it, so I don't want to stress out too much on something that I can't control. Like, Mother Nature's gonna happen, leaks are gonna happen, difficulties on the road when you're renting for such a long time, it's gonna happen. Like, I had to get towed twice, like, because I got stuck in the snow twice. It happens. So I'm going to head to Philly now, and I'm on a toll road. I really was trying to avoid toll roads as much as possible, but it was going to add like an extra hour and a half, and at that point paying the extra like $5 or $6 isn't that big of a deal compared to the gas I'm losing. So we're heading to Philly. We'll see how it goes. My mom really liked the city, so I'm looking forward to visiting. So it should be fun. Have a good one. So I am leaving the toll booth of Philadelphia. God damn, it's expensive. $18. $18. And then $5 to be driving on the New Jersey thing. To be honest, I'm thinking that I'm like, maybe I should have taken the 2.5 hour side roads. Because this sucks. Maybe it was cheaper to take the side roads after all. But yes. So, in case you didn't know, take the side roads if you want to avoid the big, huge $18 toll. Technically, I think it's $6 for cars, but it's $18 for me because I'm a bigger vehicle. And I'm only going to be here for 2 days. Goddamn. So, yeah, in case you didn't know, be careful out here. These toll roads be robbing you blind. In Philadelphia, I was planning on exploring it after I found a safe place to camp for the night. I checked a few RV parking sites, but not very much was currently available. And if there was, it was at a price. After spending a good amount of money on the dump issue and thinking I was going to have to drop some money to fix the leaky roof, I was trying to find a place that was for free, which is usually a Walmart. I went to 3 different Walmarts, but the first few said I wasn't allowed to park. The last one, I didn't even try to ask because there were people asking for help in the parking lot. It didn't help that I just accidentally drove through the equivalent of Skid Row in downtown LA in Philadelphia. My Google Maps was making me take side roads, and I noticed that some of the narrow streets were purposefully blocked off by cars or people. I headed on a main road to avoid the suspicious roadblocks, which ended up leading me in Kensington Avenue. After working in downtown LA for years, I knew Kensington Avenue was similar to Skid Row. Almost all the buildings were shuttered in the middle of the day. The metro was covering the street from almost all sunlight. There were lots of police cars, ambulances speeding by, and an abandoned police booth on the sidewalk. It's just a reminder of how much drugs can ruin lives, neighborhoods, and that there are very little resources out there to help. Not only was driving down the road very sketchy and uncomfortable, but it was also really heartbreaking. I have lost many family members to addiction and was around a similar environment when traveling down to downtown LA for work. It is a dark reality with no easy solution. I kept driving and ended up finding a truck stop outside of Philadelphia off the 276, where I decided to make camp for the night. It had already gotten pretty late in the day, so I didn't even try to see the sights in Philadelphia. I just made dinner really quick before going to bed. While I was planning to stay 2 days in Philadelphia, I would have had to pay the toll to go back, and I did not want to pay that again, so I moved into Delaware. It is really unfortunate I only really saw the dark sides of Philadelphia. I know several family members that really love the city, and I was really hoping to see that as well. I hope I can come back again someday and have a better experience. I would say that it was due to my lack of planning and Google Maps that made me miss out. I want to thank you all for watching this video. My kitten and I really appreciate it. Please show your support by liking or commenting on the video. If you want to continue to join us on our adventures, please subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, as I will be uploading every Wednesday and sometimes Friday.